Which fight would potentially be more appealing to you? Devontae Davis or Ryan Garcia?
Take Davis.
Yep. Well, boxing coming up, baby. No, yeah. What's wrong with my sound? Oh, here we go. Eyesight out again today. It's tripping. I don't know what it is, why it's been like that, but hey, I gotta make it through it, whatever it is. Got a choice to make it or not make it. That's your choice in life. Either you're gonna make it or you just don't make it, man. You gotta deal with stuff or you just don't deal with it. Whether it's bad, good, or whatever it is, you just gotta deal with it somehow. You know? Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Make sure everything is straight. Okay, before I get up in here. I didn't hear no sounds. Hopefully you guys, hopefully not getting a bunch of sounds. Sometimes I got so much stuff that loads. I'm gonna have to start getting rid of some of it because I got so much stuff that loads up before I go on that it's just it takes away from the stream probably using too much CPU, probably using a little bit too much CPU. I'm trying to find this. Where is, oh, there we go. That must be it. Well, you guys can't see the eagle for some reason. I can't see the eagle, so I know you guys can't see. You cannot see me. I can't see y'all right now. Let's see. Yeah, thinking about my public service announcement that I always have to give. So, here we go. Got to do this again. Here we go. So let's fix it the right way. Eagle don't never like to be that big up in here. Always got to be a lot smaller than that. A lot smaller than that. There we go. Now I'm in. Now wait for my guys to get in here, so I'll give you guys a chance to come through. And we'll talk a little bit. I know that you, if you haven't been here before, then you would think that that's the whole topic today is about Ryan Garcia. But we're going to talk about some other stuff. Like I said, we got to keep this going in a straight line. And so we got to bring up a couple of fighters. I don't know, maybe two. Maybe you guys can think of them too. Maybe 2-3 fighters that we probably brought them up before, but not in this light. Because we have to discuss. We have to discuss the progress that they have made. That they made a certain amount of progress, or if they didn't make the progress. And it's just we're looking at it. This is an adult standpoint. Again, always, we can keep it, and we can get technical if we need to get technical. But we don't always have to do it. Everything don't have to be, technical all the time. So, but we can make it technical. Yeah, let me see. I might have to change the date on this, but let me see if it's even running. I don't know. This thing got slow on me again. Let me see. Click it again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so let me tweak this a little bit. Okay, so we got to change that. See if I can get in here. I can't switch anything right now, I don't think. Let me see. No, I'm just have to take it down. I gotta wait until I can actually mess with it. I think. Let me see. Okay, I want to be able to do so. I got to be able to make it scroll across because you guys want that. Okay, so we'll just do this one later. As long as I know it's there at least, so at least we know it's there, so I can put it back up. I'll work with it once I get out of here. Then I'll work with it. But right now, we're not gonna mess with it. We're gonna talk about a few things. Because there's a lot of things that pop up. I hear a lot of things, and as you know how I am, man. If I hear too much of something, then I got to bring it up. We got to talk about it, man. We got to discuss it as adults or something. And with me, the whole thing is not necessarily just always discussing stuff like an adult. What it is asking the question. Is asking the question. You know what I mean? And that's what I do. I like to ask the question. Because just having my perspective on everything is just not the way it's going to be. Because a lot of people don't like that. Oh, that you just saying it the way that you want to say it. Or whatever. Yeah, of course, you have to do that. You have to say things the way you want to. But you also need somebody else's ideas sometimes. You know what I mean? I've just been real busy, so it's like I need to be able to talk to you guys. And I have to be able to, get the input and stuff like that. Because eventually I want to be able to, I want to be able to have, one or two of you guys on. We'll come on later and stuff, and we'll just talk about stuff. We'll talk about it, and that'd be nice, man. I'm thinking it'd be nice. Who knows? It might be all messed up, man. Okay, I see y'all, Dick Deal. Gil said, "Sup, Eagles Web?" He laughing. He said, 45. I don't know. I can't read that good today, man. My stuff acting up again. He said 45's. He said supporters acting a damn fool at the Capitol. Oh, okay. Is that for Trump or is that over there where you're at? Is that it? That's over there. Is that over there in the TB? Or are you talking about that's on the news? Because I haven't seen it. You guys see, I finally got the Eagles Web icon done. Just to let y'all know, y'all see, I got the Eagles Web icon. He got the the boxer is getting webbed up. He don't have the gloves on good, but he got the hands wrapped up good. I wanted to put my face in there, but I don't know how to do all this stuff. I had to have somebody help me and stuff, and yeah, I had to pay out to get that, to finally get it, Yeah. Oh yeah, the DC, yeah. Yep. What's the day today's what's the day? 6th, 5th? Yeah, they don't want to see you. They don't want to see your boy go, huh? It's like it can't be true and stuff. Yeah, they don't want to see your boy go. I want to see all of them go. I don't care. Just throw them all out. I don't need nobody in charge. Let me ask you a simple question. Anybody, just go for Gil Coles because he's in here, showing his face. So if we didn't have a president, would you actually feel the impact? See, that's a whole subject right there. And already started controversy right there. If we didn't have a president, would you feel the impact? Yes or no? would you feel like the impact? What would you worry? What would you worry about? Would you worry about more or less, or would you worry if we had a president or we didn't have a president? Would you worry more or less? So you said it impact you. How would it bother you if you didn't have a president? Because I guess I'm assuming that you're thinking that a president makes all the he makes all the money moves. He makes all the decisions. That's what you're. I suppose that's what you're thinking. Is that your thought process? And when have in the history of America has our president made all the decisions? It might seem like it. Sometimes he makes like decisions like, oh, go bomb somebody, but you gotta realize the president is a decorated civilian, more or less the highest secretary that we have. And so, what do secretaries usually do? Is the secretary going to be out there on the battlefield? A secretary. I'm sorry, I put my zinc. But a secretary, is a secretary going to be out there on the battlefield? You know, that's my question. Is a secretary going to be out there on the battlefield? Or is they're going to write into action. They're going to write something, and once they write something, that's what everybody's going to go with what they just wrote. Oh, they. Here we go. I wasn't even clicking on that. Okay, I can leave that over there. But you're looking at a secretary. Now, the only time if you have an office or anything like that, the only time you miss the secretary is what? And don't say it, because I know some of it is it's not necessarily bad, but why do you miss the secretary? If you think about it, why do you miss the secretary? Do you miss the secretary because she's just totally awesome? Or is there certain stuff that they do that you can't get to? And mostly, what is it? It's like you can't always get the phone because you're in meetings and stuff like that. So her, getting the phone. But you probably gonna hire a temp anyway. But her getting the phone, and the biggest thing is the organization that she does. We're not talking about. You see, I see what you wrote. You said so you would rather have no government. I would rather have a government the way that it was before this country was invaded. I would rather have that type of a government without so much violence. We had a little bit of violence, but what happened is the chief talks to another chief. You usually negotiate. You don't usually just go, straight to war. It's like soon as somebody says something, you want to go straight to war. So our government is more or less turning into, I don't care, a lot of people will get mad about that, but it's more of a dictatorship. It's not really a government like you would hope that there would be a government. It's more of a dictatorship. And I'm not saying that the guys that they pick are dictators, but how many promises do they make? How many promises did they make that they break as soon as they get in? And matter of fact, the whole conversation, here's the conversation. The conversation before somebody gets in the office, the conversation is that, oh, I like his ideas. I like her ideas. I like their stand. It's always about a stand. But then soon as they get in the office, all those stands, I mean, it's like it's like a nightmare over and over again. It's like, okay, you said you was going to do this, said you was going to do that, and or whatever. First thing you're going to do when you get in office, okay, we'll see. And then they get in and then they don't do none of it. Or they end up doing one thing before they get out. It's like, man, we waited 4 years just for you to do that. We could have pressured the other candidate was better than you on, but maybe not on all stands. I'll see you out there, y'all, sir. Salute to you. But he was probably better than you on other stands or whatever. So we could have pressured him into doing that one thing that you did at the very end. Yep. Y'all say salute to Eagle in the chat. Yeah. Got the fists up good. He said, what's a tribe without a chief? Well, it's you don't necessarily have to be a chief. I'm a chief, but you don't necessarily have to be a chief. It's not about being a chief. Well, a chief, okay, put it and see, I'm glad you brought that up, man. I don't know what your mind thinking is sometimes, but a lot of times, see what happens. Okay, Gil mad. I disagree with the dictatorship reference. Okay, well, I'm see, and that's yeah. And you have to look at it a certain way, but you're not looking at it the same way I'm looking at it, because you're looking at like the iron fist type. You're looking at like the Hitler type. You're looking at probably the Idi Amin or something like that. You're looking at that type. And believe it or not, some of those ones that they call out for a dictatorship, they're not even dictators. I'm just telling you what it is. A lot of them that they call out like that, they're not even dictators. It's like, wait, he's not even a dictator. They're just not. They're not dictators. But they'll make it seem like they're dictators. A lot of them that you hear about, they're not dictators. So I dropped down to say that. But going back up to your point, though, so you got your point here. So your point is, what is the tribe without a chief? Well, if the chief has no power, then you don't really need a chief. I mean, I was listening to Gil said, I'm not mad, I just vote. Okay. Well, I appreciate you, brother. If you still, I mean, if I don't knock people if that's what they, because you know what, if you got to stand up for something, and I know your father was a soldier or whatever, and you know what I mean, so you grew up, probably a little bit more patriotic. Matter of fact, look, how could I say that when I'm patriotic myself, and I grew up like that, you know what I mean, and I grew up, I grew up in the Army, so, but a lot of times you have to just sit back, you have to think on the outside. You have to understand that if I'm saying one thing and I'm doing something else, then am I really that believable? So let's step on the outside. Let's look, because this was on my mind. And see, I'm glad you brought up the whole thing about that they're the protesting and stuff like that. Okay, so how many nations or groups of people in this nation have protests? When I say groups of people, I mean in like nationalities of people. How many? And then when you narrow that down to how many groups of people have been protesting and fighting for liberty in this country, then when you break the nation down, even if they're a scattered nation and they don't know who they are, when you break those down and then just break them down into two categories, how many different groups? And I'll name a couple that's probably not, well, one of them's probably obvious and some of them's not. So the Irish, for instance. The Irish used to go through a whole lot. They was just a step above a so-called African American slave. In some cases they were below them, and sometimes they was just like right with them. The Jewish. Okay, what about the, have you ever heard of the Albanian struggle, German struggle, or Russian struggle? Because a lot of these countries had stamps everywhere. Who had Louisiana, right? Wasn't that, the French had Louisiana, right? So everybody had this apart. The Spaniards had a lot, Italians had a lot. French had a lot. Portuguese had a lot. Okay. So back to the whole chief thing, and if you don't have power or you can't, if they don't allow you to speak up, then they don't need you. We're not allowed to speak up, so they don't need us. In a sense, I see nobody put anything down, but look, they got all these things come out like the BLM and stuff like that. Who's the most prominent ones that have always been trying to fight? And you mentioned something that you mentioned the 1492, right? You mentioned 1492 before. How far back was 14? Is any of us gonna live that long? How far back is 1492? And you still struggling? Why would you have to struggle that long? Something has to be wrong. If you have you ever had to cry to your mom about something, like for, until you was just an adult, you had to just keep crying for it? Does a baby have to keep crying for a bottle? A newborn, if he needs to be breastfed or get a bottle, does he finally get the bottle? Does he get the bottle right away? Or does he have to just wait? Oh man, I'm not thinking about you right now. You'll get your bottle when I feel like giving it to you. So if you look at one aspect, is that dictatorship, or if it's not? If somebody's dictating, isn't that a simple meaning of it too? If they're dictating what they're doing with you. Okay, so let's go back. Since nobody wants to bring up that the African American struggle was probably one of the biggest ones, right? Okay, so let's get into that. So if you take, here's the statement, and this is paraphrasing, but it's still a statement. Was it William Parker, right? Or something like that. William Parker, Bill Parker. I'm just saying that's on the West Coast. So that's LA. So William Parker says he keeps interrupting an interview at one point. I was listening to him that he was interrupting. This is like way before us, but I'm just saying. So he's interrupting the interviewer, just asking him about the struggles of the black man and woman and child in Los Angeles, and he cuts him off. He cuts the interviewer off, and what he does, he cuts him off, and he says, and you'll see why this is parallel to what we're talking about. He cuts him off, and he says, "Oh, hold on, this is what people are getting wrong." He said that the most violence, and people make the same argument today, the most violence against the African Americans is African American, like African American violence on top of African American violence. And you can say that with any culture. In China, or do they have a lot of African American violence in China? They got African Americans over there, but do they have a lot of African American violence over there? Here's what it is. This yeah, I'm glad I always got visual aids and stuff. Shit, I always got my damn visual aids that I put near me. It just happens to be here. I'll see you down there, Derek, baby. Salute to all y'all, man. Yeah, we done got into a topic and Gil starting shit. Like always. That's my brother, though. I love Gil. It don't matter. So this is a container, right? So this container, if I sit here and I just put one thing in this container, say for instance I put white marbles in this container, and I just shake it up. I keep shaking it, shaking it, shaking it. Eventually, there's only, let's say for instance, every once in a while there's 1 or 2 red marbles in there. But I shake it up and shake it up and shake it up and shake it up, and eventually a few of those white marbles, say for instance 10 of those white marbles was all cracked up. Who would most likely be the culprit of that? Those white marbles. So the thing is, if I put you in a situation like you're sitting right here, you can't go nowhere, then where's everything gonna come from? If I'm dictating what you do, if I'm not allowing jobs to be in your area, all the jobs are way out somewhere else, and you have to be highly educated to get them. You're a man, you're a woman, you're a child. You got hungers and everything else. So what happens if you're just not capable? And I'm not going to get into the things of why you're just not capable. So you turn to a life of crime or whatever you got to do to survive. And where do you turn to that life of crime at? Probably within your own demographic. You're not going to go on the outside. Most people don't go on the outside unless they got like a real good running car. You got to have a real good running car. Same thing, man. Like I said, it doesn't. We talked about this before, didn't we, Derek Bailey? We talked about how I asked the question. I said, how long does it take to do the right thing? You can't even explain to me. Nobody can explain to me in most of these states. You got houses that are made in 1950s, 1940s, 1970s, and people have actually purchased those houses. Some of those houses was purchased for less than $10,000. Now you explain to me the earth didn't change. So the earth doesn't really change. I mean, it changes with the global, what they call global warming or whatever. But it's not, for me, it's not no global warming. It's just for pollution. Because we pollute everything. That's the only thing that changes. So our cost for pollution is what? Why is our cost for pollution stays about the same though? Like if you have somebody come pick up your trash and all that, that's polluting. There's no such thing as trash. So that stays about the same. But why is everything else going up? Why is everything else so high? So back to the homes. You bought a house for $20,000, $10,000. Why is that home worth over $1 million today? And you're not even making $1 million. You're not even making $1 million. I'm not saying you guys aren't. You guys might be making $1 million, but most people, they're not making $1 million a year. And you figure the house your house you bought originally, so the first person who bought it or paid for it, paid $20,000 for it. But now you're just starting off. Now all the homes around where I live at, all the homes over here are $1.5 million plus. So $1.5 million plus for something that's not worth $1.5 million in the first place. It shouldn't be. But who's supposed to get those homes? And what does that do to the people without the educations? And just some people have learning disabilities anyway. So who takes care of them? They got to stay at home most of their life. And a learning disability doesn't mean that you have to be, mitochondrial or Down syndrome or something. Doesn't mean that. Some people just don't have it as well. But salute, Derek Bailey said, salute Eagles wear boxing. Said, do you think Native Americans were treated worse than African Americans? They were slaves. We were slaves too. Native Americans were slaves too. Everybody had to fill out that damn application to be a slave. Everybody. Everybody had to fill out that application. Don't think because they hide it in your history that there wasn't other people out there that was. Now, I'm going to say the majority. Now, you think about if the majority is darker skinned people, and today they say the majority of people, well, they go by demographics, the highest incarceration rates and stuff like that. There's a lot of so-called whites in jail. If we just doing colors right now, whites, red, and everything else. There's a lot in the prisons. But the proportion of darker skinned people is way high. I don't look at regular news. What I do is for some reason, I get a lot of stuff that just brought to me. It's just brought to my attention. I'll be reading something, or listening to something, because I like iron addicts. I like the brother that's on there. He makes me laugh, man. And he's very inspirational because he's an older guy, and he just he had like a heart problem. He had to get a new heart and all that, but he just be pumping out them weights, man, and just be. he's really a motivator. It wouldn't seem like TC, right? Fletcher. And so he's really a highly motivated person. He really motivates people and gets them going. And a lot of times, they'll have side stories on there. Or I'll find a side story somewhere, or somebody will just direct my attention to something. And so it's not even, so when people think that it's, so I talk about nations a lot. And because that's what I believe in nations. But you have people to come here like, there's a brother that he lives in New York now, but he's from Sudan, somewhere around there. Like, I think it's Sudan. He wasn't in America 10 years, I think. 10, or let's say, okay, for sure, I know it, not even 15 years. And because of his color, he ended up in jail for absolutely doing nothing. Absolutely doing nothing. Now you tell me, if you're talking about a rule that's correct, but then you have people just doing stuff that's incorrect all the time, then how is the rule, how is it correct? Because if somebody never gets correction, then how is their system correct if they never correct the people that's doing all the corruption? You either come correct or you come corrupt. And a lot of times what happens is they just come corrupt. Corrupt. Yeah. Derek Beatty said you have violence in proximity to where you live. He like crime is proximity and opportunity. That's it. Nobody goes that far. I mean, okay, let's go. I see you out there, Sir Flame, but let's talk about that though. So, I'm not guilty of anything in this land. Just to let you know. But if I was to ever do something, if I had to commit something that somebody would like consider that being a crime, and I'm not talking about like killing somebody or something like that, it would be so far away from where I lived at that there would be no, even if they had video surveillance, there would be no way that they trace back to me. Time they found me, I'll be already expired. I put it to you like that. But what keeps people from having the mindset to do something on the outside of where they live at? Somebody give me an answer on that. What gives somebody the mindset to do something on the outside of where they live? How would they get that mindset? Because demographically, you see, it's just like what Derek said, it's a proximity thing. So you approximately live here, so that's what you're going to do. And that's more or less what it is. So the question is, how does a person change from that? I'm gonna tell you what. Even in movies, they give you the idea. They hint at it. You know what I mean? They give you the idea. They hint at it. They let you know that even in movies, they hint at keeping stuff out of your neighborhood. They hint at it. And if they hint at it in movies, and people like to live the movie type of life a lot of times, then why doesn't that transcend into actuality? Huh? Why doesn't it? That's family. They already know what I'm doing. That thing is so loud and annoying, though. There we go. And here we go. You said Gilco said, were natives ever given reparations on land? And see, there's another thing right there. That's a natives. Some natives have land, but you can't do a damn thing with land. We talked about this before, but you can't do a damn thing with land with no resources to keep up with the modern society. You can go out there and live and rough it up and all that, but now do you want to, or do you want to? You want to go off into the so-called future, and you want to have, like, proper water and because your land is not the same. Nomadic life is not the same if you're in a zoo. Oh no, that should have broken down right there. If you're in a zoo, nomadic life just ain't gonna work for you. because you're actually supposed to move. You're not supposed to set up. You're supposed to set up in different areas for different seasons. That's what you're supposed to do. Because that's what all the wildlife does. You think you that much different? Man always feels like he's so much different than every other creature, man. You're supposed to move. We ain't supposed to be sitting in no permanent shelters. And that's why the earth be taking down these permanent shelters. The wind be blowing them away. Earthquakes be shaking them. Floods be taking them out. Because you ain't supposed to be there. You're supposed to be moving. But we feel like we got so good on this earth that we don't have to move around. Now, there's certain places you can stay year round. There are certain places most people don't want to be in those places all the time. You know. Or those places that you can stay year round, what's the cost of living on those places you can actually stay year round? And then that comes back and gets them too. And usually when you're in a place like that, you're usually sheltered. You usually got a lot of trees. You got something that's going to keep you from, getting completely ruined. But if you're on the mainland, you're going to get towed up. The winter's going to come get you. Now, I'm not saying you don't leave a nest in certain places, but you leave a nest there, but you get the hell out of there and you come back. And you check on the damage when you get back. But you can't do that in a rough riding society the way the society is. Because you leave your house too long, it's not going to be your house time you come back. And we didn't even leave our house. And like I said, but some of the natives, they get a little bit of money and some get a lot. It depends on how they appropriate it. But believe me, if you got double agents everywhere, there's no way to move when you got double agents everywhere. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is, man. I talked about that on my native channel before the first of the year. I think it was around November when I just did that. I just talked about that a little bit. Is that you can't. It's just what you gonna do. Can't do nothing. Just like you get trolls in here. What do you think? Trolls that come in here. That's the same thing that's in society. You got trolls that come in here every once in a while. You got double agents that come in here every once in a while. It's the same way out there. Same way. We're going to tell everybody that they're getting money and they're getting this and that. Man, you don't know. Man, how many natives, all my native brothers that I know is broke as I don't know what. All they do is talk about their land. Oh, they got land here, land there. I said, well, let's go there and stay. Let's go set up. Let's go hook the land up. Let's go do something. They don't want to move because once they hit the city, they just, it's, even if it's hard life for them, they just like it. They get sucked into it. And it's certain things you just get sucked into. Then eventually, and then people just take over cultures, and they're allowed to. We have so much beef with China, and everybody hates China so much. But 50% of the stuff or more that you use is from China. Why is that? If China is on the hated list, then why you get so much stuff from China? If Korea is on the hated list, why you get so much stuff from Korea? Why you got a Koreatown in these big cities? Why you got a Chinatown in these big cities if they're so hated? Get out of here with that, man. You could trick some of the people. I'm just going to say it like that. You can trick some of the people. You're not going to trick everybody because I don't care what a belief system tells you. Because guess what? That's only a belief. If you tell me about a belief system, that's all that is. That's what you believe, or this is what I believe. That's a belief. The fact of the matter is these people have been doing the same thing forever. And you listen to any of the leaders, man, like even Nation of Islam, or you listen to Russell Means before he passed away for the natives. And that's what you need. If you want to find out about the native plight, listen to Russell Means. Just go back when he was still alive. Listen to that brother. Good native brother, man. They broke it down. Farrakhan, he breaks it down. The only thing I have a problem with is when you do have when you gather and get yourself a big nice tribe or a nation, and you seem like you haven't done as much as you should. I have a problem with that, because if you got a voice like that, if I had a voice, then I would say a lot. If you've seen the papers that they sent me just to get my nation together, then, I mean, you need millions of dollars. You need all kinds of law professionals. I would show it to you one day. I'm just going to show you the stack that they sent me. The stack of papers they sent me from DC. If you just seen just that. And as bad as the writing is. And it's, look, out of all those papers, damn near all of it is fine print. Are you kidding me? Once you see that, you know you're already in trouble. You're already in trouble when all you get is fine print. Now, we always talk about in contracts, we always talk about the fine print. Make sure you read the fine print. But what if all you got was fine print? Oh, damn, that's a lose-lose for you. Yeah, let me get to Sir Flame though. Sir Flame says salute to Eagles Web. He says salute to the chat. It as always, jab that like button on y'all neck. That's right. He said don't get naked. Eagles Web boxing. Shoot, shoot. That's right. Got those swords up good. The boxing glove up good with the fire with the 100. He made sure he remembered that 100 today. Hey, how y'all like my icon now? I finally got it, man. Ain't heard not one person mention anything, man. You got to, yeah. The web probably should have been a little bit bigger. And coming from behind, maybe I'm gonna try to see if maybe they'll do that. Maybe I can get that done. We'll see. Maybe I can get that done. But that's called webbing your whole face up. So, 'cause that's what we do. That's how we stick everybody with that web. Ain't nothing worse than a spider can't fly with his web, but an eagle grab that web your ass up and fly up high as he wants to, then drop you off. That's what my web watchers do when we get that hate up in here. All right, I see y'all salute now. Sir Flame salute out to Derek Beatty. Salute to Gail Cole. And salute to y'all, Sir Derek Beatty. Right back out there with the salute at Sir Flame. And then Gail Cole at Sir Flame 100. And then salute at Sir Flame from y'all, Sir. Gil Cole said, I rest my case. See, Gil don't have a case. Gil never has a case, but it's cool. I love my brother, man. He'd come in here and start, his controversial crap or whatever. But like I said, he has the same mind that I have when it comes to, like, these things just pop up. Like, I didn't know that he was going to bring the situation up that he brought up when he first got up here talking about the protesters and stuff like that. People get upset and stuff like that. But I was already thinking about that because, like I said, I was thinking about that the whole William Parker thing that made me think. See, when you're a kid and you look at stuff, you're not going to see it the same way as if you're an adult and look at it. If you're a baby, a little kid, little 3-year-old, you look at Santa Claus a certain way. But then when you get older, you start looking at Santa. Like some people still stay in that mindset. Oh, I still feel like a child. Yeah, because you're stupid. First of all, his name, S-A-N. The S-A-N is not good. Believe that. I'm not going to get all into it, but the S-A-N and then T-A, all they're missing is an N. It's changed some letters around. You know what it is. You know who he is. Claus. They put a clause behind him. Why you put a clause in the first place? What is a clause? But that mind has to open up, man. That mind has got to open up. You can't look at stuff like you did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Got to open up and see, like, I'm saying one thing, but I'm doing something else. I see my D to the Bay. You got my facts up there. D to the Bay always got my facts up. Yeah. That's what I'm going to try to see if I can get that done, man. Yep. I'll talk to him today. I'll tell him that hey, we need to refine it a little bit, but I like it. The thing is that it was hard to fit. If you guys look at my page, you see that the E is cut off and the G is cut off, and we've been trying to shrink that down. Because I don't have, I don't have the tools for that. I don't have the. I should have got my own graphic design stuff because I wanted to do it myself. Just the time, I just don't have time. And they did the idea that I wanted, and I like the fact that the boxer doesn't have on gloves. They got on hand wraps. I like that. But they got the eagle. They got the right eagle though. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll work with it. But I like it. I think it's just as tight as anybody else's. But yeah, Derek Bay, the old critic. He said I like it. Yeah, make the web large. Yep. He said, "Is that a crow in the middle of the web?" No, that's That's a fighter in the middle of the web, man. You have to look at it, man. You're probably looking on your phone or something, man. When you look at it on the screen, if you look at it on the computer, you can see that it's a fighter, man. Shadowed out. He shadowed out a little bit, but yeah, I'll find out. Yeah, Gil always starting something. He says that a crow. Yeah. Sir Flame said real shit. He said I like that. I can just sit back and soak up knowledge there. He said cheaper to get it from China. Yeah. So Sir Flame, that's how you came in here today. You came in here. Gil had started some shit, but I was already. It was already on. That was like. See, you guys know when I do my public service announcement, is that I try to keep it like short. And then sometimes we don't get to the topic, but you guys already know anyway about the whole, so it don't matter. So sometimes we come in and the show is like, oh, what's the show about? It doesn't matter. I might miss the whole damn show. We might not ever even get to it. Because usually my public service announcement, I usually try to keep it from 5 to 10 minutes. That's how I usually try to keep it. But then sometimes you can't. Because I came in here and Gil was already on the topic. And it's just like I said, and then Derek understands, he already on the same page with me. It's like if you put somebody in a box, you know, you put people in a box and you come back and one of them is destroyed, who could you blame? Who you gonna blame for it? Are you gonna blame somebody from the outside? And y'all make sure y'all get my likes up. Make sure Michael Johnson's Boxer Talk get my likes up, man. He been hating lately. No, I'm just playing with him. Anyway, Michael Johnson, and you and y'all sir, man. I don't know. Derek say he hit that, he be murderizing that like button on the wind. But y'all sir been slipping lately. Yeah. What's pimping? He said, you mean popping? Look, Michael Johnson's Boxer Talk more coming in. Yeah. But that's what, so the discussion, see, the thing about it, the ego has to think about it, because what I like to do is I like to try to condense it and break it down. But you have to look at the big picture. The big picture is, we already talked about the big picture. See how this is staying on topic for what we was talking about? As a matter of fact, Gil, you can bring up your question that you hit me with the other day, the whole EJ thing. You can bring that up, but not, I mean, you can bring it up now, but we'll try to address that too. But as long as you bring it up, I'll let you bring it up. So I try to condense it down, but if we look at the whole big picture, you got to look at what's been happening. Let me ask you something. What kind of life did your grandfather have, your great-grandfather? Your great-great-grandfather and mom, what kind of life do you think they had here? Great-great-great-great-grandfather and great-grandmother, what kind of life do you think they had here? When freedom rung for the so-called African Americans, how long has that been? Over 100 years? Right? Are those people that were here then, are they still here? And what such great changes, even in the 70s and 80s and all that, all these great changes, a lot of you was born in the late 80s and early 90s or mid 90s. Nobody was born in here before 1980, I don't think. Wait, hold on. Okay, I got that wrong. 80s, 90s, somewhere around there. Late 70s, 80s, 90s, for the most part. Because I wasn't thinking back far enough. I only went back like 30 years. I'm like, nah, some of them older than 30. So just think about it. They're not here anymore. So if they're not here anymore, and people are saying, oh, it's not like that anymore. And the reason people say that is because the integrated marriages and stuff like that, but those have always been the case. Because a marriage doesn't come with paper. That's not a marriage. You are the only creature that has to have papers in order to get married. And all the creatures around you, if they are so-called domesticated, then they have to have papers. We always got to deal with papers because papers is money. If you got a stud breeding stallion, he got to have papers on him. He had to have papers on his thing. The papers is not just for him, it's for his thing, it's for his seed. So the papers is for his seed. What's your seed like? Okay, I got papers on my seed. So he's showing all the little fillies that he got papers on his seed. Right? So that's the whole thing. It's all about papers. It's always about the papers. It's about the papers. But in actuality, it's not what they're saying. Oh, that equal justice now. Everybody get paid the same and this and that. Man, please. One thing you don't know about Eagle is I could get a job, if I needed a job, at probably one of the best places that a person could work. Maybe as a custodian or something like that. But most positions I go check on, usually I might have a little bit experience, lack a little bit of experience, but they should still hire me. Or maybe they'll just look at me like he got way too much experience. I've been places where they just looked at it, where I just started talking to them, they was already shutting down like, oh shit, he gonna try to come in and take over. No, and I didn't even sound like that. I get turned down for, I mean, I have been turned down for more jobs than probably most people would ever imagine. Dumbass shit. I've actually tried to take dumb jobs that, you know, stupid jobs that a retard can get and couldn't get them. So you tell me things change. All professional. Go in there, you know, professional look, professional speech, talk better than the interviewer, and still don't get the job. Got more experience than the interviewer and still don't even get consideration, don't even get a call back for where they can say, you know, well, we found somebody, you know, nice that you applied or something like that. Every once in a while you get that. And then you go back and see that the person that they hired, you know the person that they hired. And you're like, oh, are you serious? I said, I applied for that. And the person's eyes get all big. You applied for this? Yeah, I applied for that position. And they're like, why would you apply for that? I just wanted, you know, some part-time or something to do. And they're just like shaking their head like, damn, I got it. And this person has way less education, doesn't speak, you know, talks like Floyd, all slow. And why does he always have to catch himself? I don't know. I'm not hating, but he always got to catch himself before he gets his words out. He's funny though. Okay, I see y'all. Yeah. Okay, Michael Johnson Boxer talking more. He said, I'll scalp that like button. Derek Bailey's out there. Salute that Michael Johnson Boxer talk. Ed Moore, Gil Coles is on the hate again. Before I even read it, he said, Eagle Web. He says, like, if we got 6 people in the chat and only 5 likes, who you going to blame? He said, Derek. It's like Ghostbusters. Who you going to call? Ghostbusters? See, Derek, he always on you. I don't know why. See, I tried to pass it over to y'all, sir, and still didn't. Matter of fact, even if it's, no, I'm saying, I don't even care about that. 6, if I got 5 mods, I might have had a mod that came in and left. So if I got 5, I want to see at least 6 or 7. Because some people just want to check in. So if some of the mods is just checking in, I want to at least see 6 or 7. Now, I don't want to see the exact number of people that's in here. And especially if there's never changing, like you guys have been here, like say for instance, you've been here for 15 minutes and the count didn't change. And all of a sudden it goes up by 5. I know that you're not one of those 5. You understand? I know you're not one of those 5s because within that 15 minutes you had a chance to smash that damn like button. I know it's other people that just came by. You know, I know it's other people that came by. So stop playing. Yeah. So it gets up there. See, I know you guys might get embarrassed. But see, this is the thing about Eagle, man. Always, I mean, if you forgot or something like that, you're like, oh, shit, man. I just came straight into live. That can happen. Just say that just say you're bad. Because a lot of times it's my bad on I might go to somebody's page or something. A lot of times I might go listen, like I go to Michael Johnson's Boxing Talking More. He might have something up and I go in there and check it out. And then I don't have my comment. I'm like, shit, I ain't even comment. And that was good content or something. I take my ass back in there. If I got time, you know, I'll take my ass back in there and make sure I get my comment. That's just the proper way of doing things. See, just even in here, this is the proper way of doing things. And just like I said, man, the freedom of people, like the freedom, the Emancipation Proclamation, right? First of all, what does emancipate mean? That means one's is granted their responsibility into adulthood or freedom, right? It could mean like emancipated, to be free to act like an adult or whatever. But what is a proclamation, though? What is a proclamation? See, a proclamation is something that somebody's just. It's like it's a question almost, right? It's like I'm asking for this. But is that the total act? And since it's just, and they're leaning on that shit all the way up until now, that was just proclamation. You see what I mean? But you are not allotted the freedoms that you feel that you are, because as soon as you bring up the real Constitution, as soon as you bring up the real Constitution, the law of the lands, you know what they're going to label you as? They're going to hate your ass for one thing, but what they're going to label you as is what? I'm going to see if anybody knows. What do they label you as, Derek Bailey, if you bring up your constitutional rights? What do they bring up? What is the thing they're going to bring up? If you talk about your constitutional rights, what are they going to bring up? I'm talking about your constitutional rights. I'm talking about like some of the stuff I give you guys, Supreme Court stuff, the big stuff, the stuff that I bring you if you ever something happens with you and the police, because there's laws against the police to do anything against you, and people don't even use that. Even lawyers don't. It's because they're part of a team. Because it's written right there in the law. The violations, even when they talk about the George Floyd and all that stuff, the violations are right there within the law. The violation that they committed against these people are right there within the law. It is more of a crime for them to hurt you than it is for you to hurt them. But that's never prosecuted. And I put that up in here one time. But I want to see if anybody knows what I'm talking about. As soon as you bring up the Constitution, like your rights, your Fifth Amendment, now I don't want to say nothing, your First Amendment, your freedom of speech, freedom of press. As soon as you bring that up, guess what happens? What's going to happen is they start telling you about policies, but what are they going to label you as? They're going to say, oh, you must be. I'm trying to give it to you guys. But here we go. Gil calls Eagles Web a corrections officer. No, it's not a corrections officer. No, that's not what they're going to label you as or say anything like that. Michael Johnson's boxer talking more. Okay, I skipped down. I'm sorry, I missed y'all. Because when Gil starts playing around, then I'll start missing everybody. See, Gil was talking about them five, and he talking about the Derek and Michael. No, he just said Derek on there. See, who you gonna call, basically? Who you gonna call if we got a certain amount of people in here, we got a certain amount of likes or whatever? He gonna blame Derek. And y'all stop crying. When y'all come in here crying like that, I'm surprised nobody just drops down and says anything. But the rest of the audience gets so scared. And this is something right now, we're not even talking about our subject. We always got subjects. So that's a lot of times we end up staying in here for a while. But this is the point. For anybody who's just new to the chat, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who's new to the chat and you guys are just listening, always feel free, because this is freedom of speech up in here. Always feel free to drop down and just say something, but leave it, keep it intelligent. I didn't say you had to be an intellectual, but keep it intelligent. Don't just randomly come down and start, because if you come down automatically blurting out the side of your mouth or something like that, I might not ever get to read what you write. Just to let you know, I might not even get the chance to read it, because my men and women in blue, they look out for stuff like that. So you come in and it's just not right. But don't think that anything you say is not going to be right, because you can come in, just say hello or something like that. You can come in and say stuff. But I'm saying don't just come in and, you haven't been part of the discussion and just come up with like a whole your whole scenario and stuff like that. Don't come down with a whole paragraph of shit without, saying something. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just saying, for you guys to come in like that, just drop down sometime. You can't just enjoy me all the time. Drop down sometimes. Shit, yeah, we talk about it. Yeah. Everybody say I didn't even see that. Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't see? Yeah, Gil always getting you. Yep. Yeah. Everybody said Gil coming in, not hitting the like button, and his pink Crocs. Yeah. Gil coming with the pink Crocs and not hitting it up. Yeah. Hey, you should know that that's automatically though, D to the Bailey. You already know that during the chat that at one point Gil gonna have a piece of you. Because he always wants some smoke. He's a bad guy. Just let y'all know, Gil is the bad guy in Eagles Way of Boxing. Yep. Okay, y'all certainly put down he can put down a whole paragraph, a whole book. He said the law doesn't apply to the cops. He said their crap gets covered up. Or best case scenario, even if they get convicted, they get a slap on the wrist. He said, I'm talking about my side here. He said, I know it's worse in America. See, everybody knows it's worse in America. He said the only time a cop gets a steep sentence is when he is a black or brown. There you go. They catch him. Everybody else, no matter how many charges, they try to let him off. So that's what I'm saying when I say that this whole thing has been screwed up from the beginning, and is in our lifetime it's not correcting. Somebody explain to me what is so much more correct now. Did anybody ever watch? And I'm gonna answer the question. Since nobody answered the question, I'm gonna tell you what it is. It is what they will label you is if you know the law. Like if you bring up something about the Constitution. Like if you tell a cop that you're not driving, you say, no, look, I'm in my conveyance. They're gonna say it's motor vehicle. You said, no, I'm in my conveyance that I paid for, and I'm traveling freely. Don't you know that's in your Constitution? You can't have laws that go against the Constitution. So a lot of the laws are illegal, but they'll still fine you, send you to jail, send you to prison, even though they're illegal. Because all the laws are supposed to be pursuant. They're supposed to be pursuant of the Constitution. So you having a license don't mean, the reason they do that is all that is for control. And you say it's not a dictatorship, or it's not communism. Wait a minute. Why do I need all paperwork for everything I do? Everything I do, I got to have papers. Even if I buy something, I got to have papers. The only paper I want is a receipt so I can bring shit back to the store. But all these other papers, why you need papers for everything, man? I'm like, I don't want to sign nothing, man. Get the papers away from me. Why everything got to be about papers? Everything. But y'all sir say he's from across the pond, and he says that he knows that it's rough over here, that it's sure getting rough out there, that we have these kind of problems. Now, what they call you, and this is knowledge. Thank you, Capone. This is knowledge for you guys. What they call you when you go by the laws of the land. When you go by the laws of the land, and this is where a lot of people, I think, they make a mistake. They have a long argument, and I can shorten my argument up. But they call you a sovereign citizen. They say, you're a sovereign citizen? You're supposed to be free. You're supposed to be a free man to just do what you want to. As long as you're not harming people, you're supposed to be free. But that's what they call you, a sovereign citizen. Right? As soon as you bring up the Constitution. But some of the fight, now the argument, this is what keeps the argument going. The argument keeps going between somebody who's practicing the sovereignty, a person who's actually practicing that, not necessarily that they're sovereign, but the person that's practicing that, what happens is they'll keep quoting the laws of the land. They'll keep going so far But what they never do is, I never see them do this. As I never tell them, I said, they never say that your jurisdiction is unlawful. You're upholding something. And the reason you're upholding something that's unlawful because it's not parallel with the Constitution. It's not parallel. Life, liberty, happiness, and nothing, something like that, right? Like you can't live under tyranny. If you're living under tyranny, what kind of freedom is that? What kind of liberty is that? But the ones who are the tyrants? Who are the ones that you're under like that? Who's the one that's upholding illegal laws and stuff like that? Now, if you fought back and say, look, we're not going to take this. Anytime you do something that's illegal and anytime you go against the laws of the land, we're going to take you out and hang you, or we're going to do this. Then guess what? Then you're not going to live under tyranny anymore. Just saying. Yep. Derek Beatty said, yeah, I couldn't remember the term. Yeah, sovereignty. That's what it is. That's all right, brother. I know you was kind of thinking, because you wasn't. This is Eagles Way of Boxing. You came in here, Eagles Way of Boxing, because usually when we do the public service announcements, we do it kind of short. I never put a time limit on it, but it usually ends up being short. And a lot of times I just tell you, I'm gonna drop y'all the dime, and I'll drop y'all a little bit of something, and then we just keep it moving out after that. But we came in, and Gil got me heated. As soon as I came in, he's, you know how Gil is. He's a line. Gil is a habitual line crosser. So he comes in, he goes across the line all the time, habitually. He has a habit of that, and so I had to get back at him. He didn't do nothing wrong though. He just came in, and he was just telling me about the situation over there in D.C. But you guys know I'm not going to watch the news, because guess what? I don't need to, because I know what's going. You don't need to watch the news if you're watching news. You just do it just because there ain't nothing else to do. Oh, where they fighting at now? Where's the argument? And that's all you're looking for. Is where's the killing at today? What the cops do today? Where's the argument at today? Where's the protest at today? Whose water are they polluting today? Why do you keep asking questions like that? And who? See, this is, like I said, this could be long drawn out. First of all, who told you to even invent stuff like trash? And why? If you invent trash, first of all, when you invent something that's a negative to the earth, then you have to invent just the opposite of that to take care of it, so it's no longer a burden on the earth. So why are they putting everything in, say for instance, in landfills? Y'all hold on one second. Let me cut somebody. I'll be right back. Yeah, that's my boy bothering me. Yeah. But yeah, anytime that you have, like, when we're going against something that you already wrote, then there's something wrong. Because something's always been wrong, but politicians, and nobody ever brings it up. Nobody's ever going to bring this up. You're going to hear it in Eagles Web, but nobody's ever going to bring it up. So it doesn't matter what group of people, is that you always going to go, when you're going against something that you wrote, like you write out a contract and you're going against it, you're breaching it. So you're breaching the Constitution. So what the hell? How can anybody ever feel comfortable? But back to the whole thing about the landfill. Anytime you do anything that's negative, You have to come back and do something. Like, say, for instance, if there's going to be a fire, there's a fire in the house. What do you need? What's the opposite of the fire? The water, right? You need something to put it out. What's the opposite of trashy? Trashy? Cleany? Clean is the opposite of trash, right? So no matter what you make that can pollute, then you have to have something that can counterbalance that right away. So if you have paper, you got to have something that turns that paper back into something like some kind of mulch or something like that. And then from there, it breaks down from there. From the mulch, we break down from there. You have to have that. There shouldn't be a such thing of a recycling center. You shouldn't need that. Because everybody should be putting it. If you got plastic, hey, is it going to be reused plastic? There has to be a set standard where it has to be reused. It can't go in garbage. But how long they've been trying this? For 30, 40 years. But they don't really care about that. Now, why would you not care about somewhere that you live, but you care about the people that live in the place that you don't care about? To me, that just doesn't make no sense. I don't care about the land or my land uses. I don't care how much pollution I do to the land, but I care about you, what you do around that land. This shit just doesn't make sense. But like I said, you always have to have an opposite. So if you have a certain type of pollution, then you need to have an opposite to take care of it. And if you can't, what they need to make is they need to make like a giant incinerator and use that the offset for that. I mean, they got the technology to do it, because if you got all these land excavation machines, I don't even know the name of none of them. I know excavator, but some of these machines are so big, they're bigger than hotels. I mean, this monster steel machines. If you got machines that big, this thing, you can make an incinerator. That's what. So this bring everything. They got one at the airport. All the major airports have incinerators. And what that does, it gets so hot that it doesn't leave anything. No smoke, no pollution, nothing like that. So you need to get something that's an oven that's big enough, if you're going to just pollute like that, that you're going to burn stuff out of existence. And that way you don't have the landfill. I'd rather you just burn it up. Because you can use the power. Just use the power, the offset, what you just burn. That's free energy. Just burn everything up. But you can't make me believe that you don't care about your environment, your land and stuff like that, that you got to have paperwork to show that you care about it. Oh, the EPA. And then they disbanded the EPA, right? Come on now. Why? Why would you do that? Because were they a real legitimate agency where they were really watching you? But just because you got paper. I got the paperwork right here. Here's the paperwork. See? Right there. That's my signature. No need. It's like, I got paperwork, so I'm with the this and that because I got paperwork. Get out of here with that. Don't act humane if you're not. You know what I mean? You can't, like, dump trash in somebody's backyard and then act like you care about what that person does. Of course, they want to clean it up. They don't want their yard all trashy. Anyway, this whole system, like I said, man, I'm a part of the system. And I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to sit here and have regrets, the time that I spent, for this country. I'm not going to say that I have all kinds of regrets about it. It's just that that's the mindset that they had me in. You know what I'm saying? If I had this mindset, there's no way I would have joined anybody's service or nothing like that with this kind of a mindset. But at that time, I had a different, type of a mindset. And then after that, it was more of almost like a force thing, like get your ass in here in the army, whatever. So it was like that. But this thinking, man, like I said, you got to use new thinking every year, man. You got to use new thinking. You can't think the same way, man. Because, like I said, the argument is people will never, the lawyers, believe me, they're never going to bring up the argument. Just like when I told you guys, that is more against the law for the police to do something to you when you're not doing anything. That's what's the whole thing. When you're innocent, is more The law is stronger against them, but they never use the law against them. And so when Yasser brings that up, when he says that the only stiff fines is for black or brown people, see, that's letting you know that it hasn't changed. So even in slavery, what would be who would get the stiffest penalty for killing, like, say for instance, somebody killed some livestock. Say a slave killed a big pig, or let's say a white man killed a pig. Who would do the most time in jail, or what the consequences would be? Somebody just out of your mind, just think of what that would be. And there's the public service announcement will end with that, with somebody letting me know what would happen to either party if they killed a pig. 2. You got an enslaved person who killed a pig, and you just got a white man to kill somebody's pig. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Just to see. And same thing, and you think that. So I had to, one more thing. I had to bring this up just so you know. If you kill a police dog, you can and you probably will do some time in jail or even prison. But if the police kill your dog, they won't do a minute in counseling. And see, Gil, I understand. See, the thing about it, Gil, is I understand that you have your political view on certain stuff. Is it the words and stuff is what gets you? These people do not have a track record of keeping anything clean. Believe me. Not in this part of America. Now, Canada is a part of America. See, people don't even know that. A lot of people don't know that Canada is America. America. This is the USA. This is the United States. Up there, they just divide it differently. They're divided differently up there. But still, it's the same. No matter how you say you divided it, if you look out at the land, you don't see no lines. But they do more for the homeless. They got towns up there where there is no homelessness. None. And why can't we take a model and do the same thing? How come we haven't learned? How come we can't learn from them? They're your neighbors. How come you can't learn from them? That no mayor, not one mayor from one city, and I'm going to go to mayor because mayor is the ones that's head of cities, right? Not one mayor of any of these cities in the whole United States has abolished and canceled out homelessness. But you got places in Canada where there is no homelessness. Why? I don't believe none of them's track record, because if you've been doing nothing but destruction since 1492, 529 years, what's going to make me think you're going to do, that you're going to do better now? It don't take that long to do better. Shit, you wake up and do better. Shit. If you left the stove on, the gas on, and somehow your house caught on fire, are you going to do better keeping that damn gas off from now on? If you made it out alive, are you going to do better? Are you going to check that shit? You're going to be waking up in the middle of the night to check and make sure the gas is off. So stop that shit. I don't like when people say shit like that. It just gets to me. Not you, brother. I'm not talking about you. You know you my brother, man. And plus, I'll just call your ass up and we can fight like that. But we never do, though. We never do. We never do. When I talk to my brother, we talk. We always have a good conversation. We always have a good conversation. But I have to bring up these little simple. See how I do it, though, Derek Billy? I have to bring up a simple situation so people can understand it more in a broader sense. I have to bring it up and make it real simple. So what would happen? Shit. Don't you know if something like that happened to me? Okay. I'm not going to tell you the exact situation, but I had something tragic happen to me with something, a device as a child, I wasn't playing with nothing. It wasn't even my fault. But I got hurt by a certain thing when I was growing up. And even till this day, and it's something that you have to use. That's the whole thing about it. But even till this day, I still have a problem with it. I still have a problem using it because it hurt me. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, I'm actually good at using it. Real good at using it. I'm just not going to bring up I just don't want to bring up the whole personal situation. But I'm just saying, that's what happens to us a lot of times. Is we get hurt, but we get better because we was hurt. But a lot of us still see it like, oh, that bastard, I know he gonna flip. And we'll say that to each other. Think about it. We'll say to each other that he gonna flip it. And we'll say that to each other. But guess what? They always been flipping it. Are you a pancake? Then why stop getting flipped? Yeah, stop getting flipped. If you ain't a pancake. No, Gil, I didn't get hurt by the flute. I'm looking way at the bottom because I seen all the crying. Stop it, brother. I'm going to get your ass, man. I promise you. I promise you, man. I'm going to do a Gil roast one of these times, man. I am going to get your ass for that. That make me put up a video. I'm going to put up a video just about your ass. See, you got the right icon up there. It's, yeah, Mr. Johnson, you got the right one up there. Cole, aka Sucky Johnson. Hater. He's straight up hating, y'all. Yeah. But if you believe that somebody's actually gonna look out for the environment, just look out for yourself. I'm telling you, man, all these big cities around here, and we got some big ass cities. But these big cities around here are trash. They are absolute, they're ghettos. I don't care what they show you, because all these beautiful buildings that they show you, even in New York and all these other places, they show you all these buildings. Oh, look how big that is. Oh, I'm going to the top of that and this and blah, blah, blah. I'm in this hotel. You in the hotel, stupid. You ain't out there in the city. Look at the whole city's all tagged up, trash going down the street. Believe me, nobody's going to do nothing about this environment because that's not part of the menu. That's not a menu item. That's off the menu. It's not on the menu. If it was on the menu, if it was important, it is important. Who makes that not important? How do you make the land not important when you have to live off the land? Regardless, you still have to live off the land. Why wouldn't you make that important? Because you're getting your stuff off of some land that there's no trash on. Your stuff. But how much does your stuff cost that's coming from New Zealand and all that stuff? How much does your stuff cost? And who can afford your stuff? Who can afford your water, your Voss water, which is no good for you? And that's based on a independent study that I seen done that I don't like that water. But all your fancy waters and stuff, the waters that cost for a small bottle like this, $3-4. So you're talking about a gallon of water. You know, remember water used to be cheaper than gas. Remember back in the day? But now, how much is it? And who can afford that shit that they drinking? I can't afford it. I can't afford that shit that they drinking, man. What's that shit, like $30 a gallon? If you break those little bottles down, little $2, $3, $4 bottles, you break those down, how much is it, like $40, $50 a gallon? And they got truckloads of it at their house, but you drinking out the tap. But they care about the environment. What happened to the water that the animals drink that is not consumable anymore? What happened to it? And why hasn't that been straightened out by now? I'm just saying, man, this is not, I don't work for none of them. No, EPA don't work for none of them. I try to spit like common sense out to people. Just think about it. There should be nobody coming on the news telling you, oh, don't drink your water for 2 days. What happened to the water? What you mean don't drink it for 2 days? I was a little bit too poisonous. If I tell you not to drink the water for 2 days, I mean don't ever drink your water. But for these 2 days, just be especially careful for drinking the water because it's even more poisonous than it's regularly been. It's always poisonous, but now it's real poisonous. That's what I'm telling you. That it's poisonous, but on top of that, on top of it being poisonous, now it's extra poisonous. Yep. Let's go back and see what D to the Betty up in there. He said they would probably kill the slave. That's the difference of the treatment. We don't know what they're gonna do to the white guy or the white boy, whoever it was. They might slap him on the wrist, but you're right. That slave was getting killed over a hog. He said, "Do you know who Deb Haaland yet is?" I don't keep up with the politics of these people give. I'm just saying that with her, I believe I've heard her speak before, but like I said, they already if you was listening to what I said earlier, is they already disband the EPA. So first of all, that's already killing it. That kills it right there when you disband something. When you make it defunct, there's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of things like that we would think of one way. We thought, okay, that'd be great, and but they take it away from us. Yeah. But like I said, just like I told you, I didn't get into the story a lot. This is for Gil too, though, because it doesn't matter who you are, your background. So it wouldn't matter like I'm native or she's native or whoever. That doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that earlier I already said when you got double agents in the first place, it does not matter. I don't care if they put a native. I wouldn't want a Native American to be president. I wouldn't want a Native American to be. You feel me? I wouldn't want a Native American to be anywhere in politics. Yep. Because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen when you have these people like that. Because you mentioned her, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm saying that you mentioned her. So what's gonna happen is you have, first of all, like I told you, see now my representation of the flag. You guys see that I got the chief on the flag, right? The difference between me having a chief on the flag, I'm a chief and I got a chief on the flag, is no matter what they've done, they're going to be there in looking like a representation of their people. But that flag back behind me, they're not going to have a flag like that. They're going to have, and this is something else for you guys to study. What they're going to have behind them is they're going to have the Jolly Roger behind them, which is a nautical flag. And why in America do we have nautical flags, huh? If we're not riding on some boat. If you're on a boat, no matter where you're at, even if you're looking at this land as being a boat, then if anytime you're on a ship, there's containments, and yes, you jump off in that ocean. And guess what? Can't really track as being like, they can't map it out as being land, like water. You can't own like bodies of water. You can't own like lakes and stuff like that. You can't own like oceans and stuff like that, right? But why are you saying we're on the ship? Why is your flag showing one thing? Your voice is saying one thing, but you're representing, like your flag that represents you is, you guys look it up yourself. Isn't that's for nautical laws, right? And who takes care of anything that's, if you're at sea, for the most part, and I'm not talking about an admiral or something like that, but who takes care of all the laws at sea? What is their rank? The captain, right? Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I know like some of our people, But I don't always, like I said, I don't always, I can't believe in them once I see where they're, like I see their form. That's why I told you go back and listen to Russell Means. He didn't want the position. When you know certain stuff is corrupt, you don't want it. You're going to speak out for the people, but you don't want nothing to do with those positions, because guess what they do? Is once they see that the resistance, and then of course they want you on their side. Name some of the outside leaders and stuff. See how we stayed on this topic. But name some of the outside leaders in America where everybody was against, but then they try to suck them in to get them into the system. Or either something happened to them, they got killed, and then everybody respected them after the fact. Oh, he was standing up for his people and all that. What happened? How many African Americans leaders had to die before they started getting admired? How many Native American leaders had to die before they got admired? And come on, man, it's simple, man. I'm telling you, it's simple. Damn, that's a damn shame. Look at Derek Bailey. He said, yeah, they got some areas where you can light your water on fire as it come out of the tap. Matter of fact, they have a little town in Pennsylvania that's been on fire for over 50 years. Something like that. It's on fire. Nobody can live there. They had some kind of a leak or something like that, some kind of natural leak or something, some kind of gas or something like that. And so some dum-dum thought that he can burn it off, and so they lit it on fire. Once they lit it on fire, the whole town went up, and the whole town is still burning. What does that do for the environment? Who even thinks like that? Who does shit like that? The kind of stuff that they do, that they do is straight up bullshit. That nobody thinks to do dumb shit like that. If your house was full of gas, your whole house was just full of gas, and you came through the door, oh, my house is full of gas, would you light a match? Would you light a match? And I've seen them do this. As a matter of fact, they're dumb enough, because I've seen them do this a lot of times when it comes to like oil and all that. They light the shit on fire. That's what it's, what you pulling it out the ground for? You're pulling it out the ground so you can use it as fuel, right? You know what I mean? So you're pulling all this water out, all this shit out the ground, and you want to use it for fuel, but at the same, it's coming out too fast, but you're going to light it on fire. What is it? First of all, it's fuel. And what does fuel do? Fuel burns. So what you going to do? Light it on fire as it's being fuel? How fucking stupid is that? That's like taking instead of having like a water hose full of water, you got a water hose full of gasoline, and it's coming out too fast, so you light it. That's not even logical thinking. That's a dumbass thinking in the first place. Yeah, see Derek Bailey way at the bottom. He said exactly. He said ghost town now. And it's still burning. Like I said, if they cared about the environment, or why haven't they even done nothing about that in 50 years? If you really think they care about, somebody's going to care about the environment, no. You care about the environment until you get that paycheck. Until somebody says until they have you standing up straight and tall and put medals on you and shit like that. And that's what gets you, even when you're in the service, the same thing. As they say, they call you up front and say Eagle Phase is promoted, that's how they got my ass, you know what I mean? The Secretary of Defense has determined that Eagle Phase, has passed the standards to be promoted to such and such. See? And they get you with that shit. They get you with that, and they get you with the money. But they're not going to explain that flag. They're using a Jolly Roger flag. They're not going to explain that. They're not going to explain why none of the laws are parallel with the actual laws of the land. They're not going to explain that when they're supposed to be pursuant of the same laws. They're not going to explain that shit. What they're going to explain is all kinds of other shit. Well, the sea, blah, 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 blah. And that's why they always speak it in Latin. So they can hide the fact. Because guess what? The Constitution is easy. I mean, if you can do a little breakdown, is more easily read than the other shit when they change it into law language. It's more easily read. That's why you got so many statutes, and that's why you got so much others. They, oh shit, I better add something else in there. They always got to add something else. Or we better amend that shit because they can see a way that you can get them, and so they got to amend it to keep you from getting them. We don't want them standing up for their rights like this shit. We got to keep them down, as far as we can get them. Did I step on their back? You see what I mean? Even the whole point of just like I said, even charging your dumb ass for electricity and charging my dumb ass for stuff like electricity and shit like that and water. Charging you for water, electricity, charge you for the sun. The sun gets you a discount, believe it or not. In most places, the sun actually gets you a discount. The wind, you have to pay a little bit. What they call it, a per diem or some shit. You got to pay for it. To say they sun worshipers in the first place, but they're not the right sun worshipers. The melanated people are the real sun people. But anyway, that's something else. But anyway, so they charging you. See, eagle be going off. So they charge you. The sun, you can get money back. But the wind, they charge your ass for that wind. They don't like that wind. For some reason, why you against the wind? Huh? Put your ass up, put up a windmill if you want to. You put up a windmill, you're going to get charged. You're not going to get all the free energy that the wind give you. That's too easy. Especially if you live in a place that's windy, because the wind is always going. See, that wind is always going. See what I mean? So on that one, on the wind, they're gonna charge your ass for wind. See, the sun ain't always out. But you could live somewhere where the wind is always going, at least if it's going slow. They're going to charge you for that. But the sun, they know that when the sun go to sleep, that your solar panels have to go to sleep. See? But the wind, they ain't no control over that. Especially if you move to a place, shit. They just think about it. And they keep you from doing that. Why are they keeping you from doing that? Because let's think about it. If you set up some houses and stuff, you got some apartments that were self-sufficient. They all ran. You wasn't on the grid at all. Only thing you had on the grid was like the Wi-Fi, but everything else, your electricity and all that, your pump, everything ran off the wind. There's no money to be made with you, because you can charge up all the machines you use to maintain your community and all that. The government ain't getting nothing, huh? Especially if it was private, that they can tax you for your land use. Remember, that's land use taxes. That's not no property tax. It's land use tax, because you using land. What you mean using land? This was free land when we first got here. So we can get into it, like I said, man. But don't start ego up, man. Don't start ego up, man, because you're gonna get my real side. You're gonna get the side that I give you. You're gonna be, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's gonna hurt your feelings. Like, oh man, my government, that's my government. Look, I got the everything. You know what I mean? I've been there. So I got to be understanding. If I was right there on the front line too, I got to be understanding. But then I had to come back to what my grandmom and everybody was preaching. So I had to come back. You know what I mean? Nature should call you back. If nature don't call your ass back, that means you don't belong in nature. Because nature calls its own all the time. But maybe you don't belong in nature if nature ain't never calling you. If you're the type of person that just throw the shit over there, then that's probably nature probably don't call you. You probably don't belong to nature. Oh, just dump the gas in the water right there, that little creek. Fucking the creek barely has water. You gonna put gas in there? It doesn't even hold the water. I'm just saying, man. So if somebody want to get environmental with me, look, believe me, I can just drive. I would say an hour, even less than an hour. We can just drive around, and I can show you what the land protection looks like anywhere. We can just go outside the city. I won't even. The city's too easy. It's too easy for you to take a loss in the city. But I can take your ass out somewhere blindly. We'll just both discover for ourselves. We'll go out blindly, and I'll find you something that's effed up out somewhere that neither one of us has ever been. You see what I mean? I'm just letting you know, man. I'm just saying. Derek Bailey always moving. See, always moving. That's another one too. Derek Bailey, that they always moving the goalposts. Has anybody seen that commercial? You guys know I don't like to endorse nobody, but have you seen that commercial where the guy's he has a fishing pole and he has a dollar a bill? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's $1.05, whatever it is. But he's holding it out in front of somebody and like fishing for him. He's like, "Oh, you almost got it. Almost got." See, that's the whole thing with us is like we can get to the truth like in small forums and stuff like that. This is a boxing forum or sports and in real life forum. But we can get to the truth in places like this. But how come we can't get to the truth out there in the real world? And I wasn't trying to get on you, Gail. I wasn't trying to. And thanks for bringing her up too. Thanks for bringing up Deb Haaland. So thanks for bringing her up. But like I said, I don't. The reason and plus I don't. I'm not. I live close to them, but I'm not that close to them. So I don't really, I don't really, fall for none of the stuff. And mostly when they talk about people like that, and I'll check her out though. I'll check out more about it because I don't want to just speak on her like that because I don't really, because I'm gonna tell you the Navajo. I'm gonna tell you right now, the NaJ people, they probably love her. But I guarantee, I can almost guarantee also the NaJ people, which that's the Navajo for the people that if you're not native, they're Navajo. So English they call them Navajo, but they're actually the NaJ people. So the NaJ people, they probably are going to like her a lot, but then you're gonna have some that don't want to mess with her. You know what I mean? You're gonna have some that don't want to mess with her. So you got to always look. So look at the both sides of it to look like why you guys love her, why you guys don't like her. You see what I mean? So we got to do it that way. Okay. So we actually missed the whole damn top. But I enjoyed this though. But we missed the whole top. We'll do a part 2 or something. We'll get to them. So we might end up on this again. I don't care, man. I love it, man. We can get on this. I don't care. I will say this. Because of all the call outs and stuff like that, but when it comes to Ryan Garcia, I will say this, is that he seems like he's growing a pair. But I think that for him fighting Tank, it's just not, you know what I mean? He's trying to make himself a face of boxing, but him fighting Tank, I think it just doesn't work out that good because he has a problem with southpaws. His feet gets messed up a lot. Especially, and he tries to fight in the pocket when he gets hurt. If that instinct's going to kick in, if Tank ever clips him, and this is just like a nutshell. Tank clips him and he wants to try to get in and get more like, oh, now I got to throw bombs at you and hurt you. That may get him hurt even more. I'm not saying he can't win. But I think he's more tailored. And I'm not going to say no 50-50 because you guys already know me. Eagle don't be talking about no 50-50s and shit like that. I don't talk about 50-50s. I don't know. Somebody, let me go back and see. Somebody done put hands on somebody already. See, I was trying to talk about something. Let me see. Who handed your ass up? Let me see what you wrote. Okay. Okay, I see why somebody got rid of you. I see why somebody got rid of you. And I'm gonna read it just because I'm in here, and just because I opened it back up, and because I opened it back up, and I think D to the baby probably got your dumb ass. James from Dallas. I'm gonna read that out. So you getting a shout out. We shouting your dumb ass out. And I'm calling you dumbass at the same time. You say, yo, Eagle Face. And I don't know how you know my name. I never mentioned my name. And as soon as somebody said, see that you put my name down, that's why you got your ass smashed the first time. I'm not even gonna read the very last part of it, but you said why you hating on Wilder. We're not even talking about Wilder. Wilder, the only reason Wilder's name came up right now is because I just read some of what you wrote. I just read some of what you wrote, but you're not a participant in Eagles Way of Boxing anymore. You're not even a participant. I gave the rules out of how you conduct yourself when you come in this chat the way that we like to have it, and automatically you came in with a dumbass opinion. And you're James from Dallas. How many Jameses live in Dallas? You're James from Dallas Boxing. And so you're not with the EJ camp or nothing like that because you're from Dallas Boxing. You couldn't be from that camp because they wouldn't have nobody as dumb as you are. Right? They wouldn't have nobody as, and you're not Derek James, so I don't know why you're putting James. Why are you biting off somebody's name? Huh? You're probably related to Jeff from the tire shop or something like that. Maybe not even the tire shop. James from Dallas Boxing. You know, we talking about something serious today, and so I didn't really feel like I would just roast you, but you're not even, see, I gave you enough breath as it is. Just even saying your name. You're going to be like, oh, I got a shout out in Eagles Web. Yeah, you got a shout out. You got a shout out for being a scum. Because I see that up in comments somewhere. For being a scum. That's why you got shouted out in here. But you probably don't, you don't even exist. You don't even have a icon up or nothing. Huh? You don't have nothing. Just a J, a purple J. A white J with a little purple background. Oh, this gonna get them right here. They're gonna think I'm official. You're officially. I'm trying to say something clean, you know, not use vulgarities and stuff like that. But just your name itself is vulgar. From Dallas, and you don't represent Dallas because Dallas people from Dallas. I got family in Texas. Yeah, talking about Dallas. Get your dumb ass up out the chat. This is. Hey, D to the belly, did you throw his ass completely out? Or who got his ass? It might have been y'all sir, because y'all sir be clipping people's ass too. Believe me, y'all sir got a big ass hammer. But, you know, back to the youngster. He has to work on some things. I can see him getting into a fight with him. I don't think, the one thing he can work on skills. He can work on his skill set. But the one thing I don't think that he can work on, in our topic, we'll cover this Friday. We didn't really get to it. And that's the fighters that should have been more progress than what they are. And so we'll try to get back in on him a little bit better on Friday. Or yes, I'll just come back. Yes, I get some time or something like that. And we can get in on it. The one thing I think with him is he's young and it's instinctively, forget skill set and all that. He's good. But instinctively, what's going to happen is he's going to go back to like survival mode. He's going to go back to, oh, I'm a rough fighter. He's going to put himself in that kind of position. And we see, which is more or less the Ricky Hatton mentality. So if you use that Ricky Hatton mentality to fight certain people, you're going to end up in trouble. You're going to end up in trouble. And he got that nice little pointed chin. Goes down to a point. So that means a lot of fists can hit that little chin. You got a little chin like that, a lot of fists can hit that. Yeah. Okay, y'all sir said Derek got it before me. All right. Yeah. Yep. Is that one of your people right there, y'all sir? Before we get out of here, is that one of your people? And you're just new to the chat. Dr. Chaos, you're very new to the chat. If you like anything about the chat, we do talk boxing, but we talk world stuff too. A lot of times when we talk world stuff or just our existence, when we talk about that, it usually doesn't last as long as it did today. But you're welcome to come back. I don't think you was a disturbance. It looks like people are talking back to you. Nobody has like a problem with you. You can subscribe if you like. And come here with the Eagles Web boxing team, because Eagles Way of Boxing, that's my team right there. Those guys out there that you're interacting with, you know what I mean? But we'll get back in. We'll try to get back into it. But like I said, a lot of times, a lot of the other stuff that we're going through right now, that's a lot more important. That is a lot more important than a lot of the things that we can cover in boxing. Because I talk fast anyway, and we could wrap it up quick. You know what I mean? When it comes to talking about any particular fighter, we could wrap their ass up quick. That's why we the web, because we wrap your ass up. We wrap your ass up on some quick talk. But you come back, you can subscribe, man. Because I lose a couple, I get a couple more. But just don't come in like whoever that was. Don't want to mention his name, but y'all know who he is. Who it used to. He doesn't. He don't exist no more. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Derek got it before me. Derek Beatty said, "Yep. Yeah. Yes. Of course, Derek Beatty got his ass." Okay, let me read what y'all sir. I love when my people come here, my web watchers, because what happens is a lot of times you don't understand Eagles language, and so y'all sir broke the English down in English from England, from the UK. So he breaks it down in UK terms. He says, James, he said, Eagle is trying to say you're a dickhead. Uh, he said in a nice way, but I'll call you for what it is. And he crying. So basically, Yasser Hussein has correctly interpreted. He didn't interpolate, but he interpreted what I said, and I give him a thumbs up on that. Good interpretation. Yeah. Derek Baker said Ryan has to bend his knees and keep his chin down. Yeah, he raised up. See, that's the whole. See what I'm saying? I'm saying stuff. And see, Derek Baker, we'll talk about this, but what happens when you get touched a little bit? You're right, he gets that chin up, and I know they're not telling them because they never even mentioned it like that. You get your chin up when you get all excited. Oh, shit, he trying to show off. Now you're going to try to show off for the crowd, and hopefully there'll be a crowd if they do fight, because he's actually thinking he's going to knock Tank out in a couple of rounds. But we'll talk about that if he can do it. But right, you need to bend them knees and keep that damn chin down. You got that right. But some heavy punchers have straighter legs too. Though Tommy Hearns had straighter legs too, but he had way more power than this kid does. Yeah, all the way. Yep. First, okay, y'all sir said okay. First time I'm seeing him at Eagles Web Boxing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but he said thanks, Mr. Eagle. At least he coming in proper though. At least y'all. Yeah. Hey, you guys can strap him up. Y'all let me if he comes in, and he fits into the chat. Y'all let me know, man. We'll turn him into a blue suitor. Yeah, he said 2 years ago. I was here a long time ago. Okay, so he was up in here. All right, but anyway, we'll get back on this, man. I gotta go, man. We've been in here today. But anyway, my shout out to all the real people that I see, and we'll work on that logo some more. I like it the way it is. It is kind of tight, though. I think that web should. Matter of fact, that web should be the whole shit, the whole behind. Behind. Let me see if I can get them to do that. Yep. Again, my shout out to all the real people that I see. My shout out to all y'all that mess with me. Y'all know what it is, man. Eagles Way of Boxing. Nothing but blessings, man. Yep. I'm gonna catch y'all, man.